Hello, friends and bees, and friends who are also bees, and welcome to this week's NieR Replicant stream. This week we are going to be starting up Route B and playing through that. I am just getting sorted real quick. I'm going to continue to misbehave. I know my butt is alive, I'm just gonna there we go, sick. Here we are. So, let us swap over to the gameplay. Every single day, I am filled with terror that that isn't gonna work. And, let's just hop straight in, shall we? I'm not sure exactly how the transition into different routes works, but we'll see.
Whenever I interacted with Kaine, I was reminded about something from my past. Maybe my mind has been confusing her with my sister this whole time. Anyway...
Kaine's dreams, discrimination. The sound of rain filled the village. The steep cliffs that surrounded the area magnified sound, causing even the slightest drizzle to rattle like a thunderstorm. Thin wisps of smoke streamed from the huts as the villagers huddled in their homes and waited out the rain. A single child, however, had braved the downpour and was now wandering slowly towards the wooden, hawk-shaped weather vane at the centre of town. The wanderer reached the vane, which had existed for as long as any could remember, and stared. The child's face was simultaneously delicate and fierce, like a teacup that had survived a shipwreck. Those traits combined with pale white skin to give their face an almost sexless quality. If the beak turns east, I go home. If it stays west, then I... The child blinked. Rain slowly dripped down the young one's short hair and began its long descent to the ground. Come on, come on. The child felt a slight breeze and watched as the vane slowly creaked to life. Spinning this way and that, it finally settled with the beak pointing firmly towards the east. East? Really? Before the vane could move again, a jagged rock came spinning and tumbling through the air, striking home against the child's head. The force of the blow dropped the child to the ground as a hail of stones began to fall all around. Oh no, they found me. A heartbreaking smile crept across the child's face as the stones continued their assault. Through the rain, the sound of multiple footsteps grew louder before a voice rang out. Just check this out. Oh. Yoo-hoo, Kaine! The voice belonged to Dimo, worst of all the bullies in the area. As Kaine struggled to stand, a final stone came skittering through the mud and bounced against her foot. Blood oozed from a cut above her eye and blurred her vision, but she could make out the shapes of Dimo and his usual gang of idiots. The boy seemed taken aback for a moment by Kaine's seeming indifference to the blood dripping from her face, but quickly regained his bravado. What's up, freak? You like the rain? Like getting all wet? Or did you finally decide to run away from home? Though she knew it was futile, Kaine turned to leave. Before she could get more than a few steps, the other children scrambled to surround her, cruelty burning in their eyes. Kaine knew those were not the only eyes on her. The tormentors' parents watched from the safety of their homes. She was attuned to this sensation. It was one she'd experienced many times before. While some villagers simply turned a blind eye to the actions of the children, many encouraged it openly. In a society ruled by superstition and fear, Kaine was something to be hated and, if possible, destroyed. You didn't say you could leave, freak. Dimo's words chewed at her like a worm through an apple. He can't hurt me, she lied to herself. Be strong, be brave. He can't hurt me, he can't hurt me, he can't hurt. I hate seeing repeated text like that. My brain just goes straight back to Higurashi. Oh look, little freak's gonna cry. What's wrong? You're sad that everyone hates you and wants you dead? Kaine prayed for the rain to flood down and carry her away from a world that seemed to have no place for her. But if there were gods, they chose to ignore her. As Dimo crept ever closer, the clouds began to thin and the rain slowed. But we can be doing okay. Yes, we are. Cool. Even the weather hates me. I'm useless. A failure. I wish Dimo's rock had taken my head off. Sorry for the frame drops. Kenny couldn't meet Demo's leering gaze. She lowered her eyes and stared at the muddy ground below. The bully moved forward until he was inches away. She could smell the scent of old meat on his breath. The boy grabbed Kaine's face with thick fingers and yanked it upwards. She tried to turn away, but he forced her gaze back and jammed his thumb against her eyelid to pry it open. Show me. No. Did you just say no? Demo grinned evilly. You don't say no to me. No one says no to me. No, not even taking his attention away from Kaine, he called to his cohorts. Come on, guys. Let's give the freak what she deserves. As soon as Demo finished, kicks and blows began to rain down upon Kaine. Demo paused, still grinning, as she curled into a ball and tried to make the pain stop. Sorry for the frame drops again. I don't get you, freak. What you acting like a girl for, huh? Everyone knows what you really are. Kaine ignored the question, choosing instead to stare at the weathervane. It continued to point east, as if supremely confident about the future it had chosen for her. Don't freak out on me, please. Okay. Go home? Yeah, that's a funny joke for someone with dead parents and no home to go to. Freak, chanted the children. Freak. Kaine closed her eyes and listened to the rain, waiting for the pain to start again. As the clutching hands of the village children closed around her, she bent her mind to the sound of the rain, letting it become her world entire. The rain fell. The pain never came. Only when the laughter of her tormentors turned to terrified cries did she dare open a single, blood-caked eye. Kaine was shocked to see Demo sprawled on the ground, holding his head and screaming in pain. She could see blood welling from spaces between his fat, twisted fingers. My God, he's crying. He's actually crying. Deprived of their leader, the other children glanced back and forth between themselves, as if waiting for someone to step forward and take charge. When no saviour emerged, they began an uneasy shuffle away from Kaine. But the young girl was the least of their concerns. Instead, their attention was wrapped on the ancient woman standing a few feet away. After struggling for breath for a moment, she finally spoke in a voice thick with rage. Hurts like a bitch, don't it? Now I suggest you scatter before I throw another one. And if any of you little bastards ever touch my Kaine again, I'll do far worse than throw a rock. You can count on it. The old woman crouched down and gently touched the hand Demo was using to cover the wound. Before he could think to protest, she ground her palm into the wound and twisted it back and forth. Ow! He screamed, leaping to his feet. Stop it! What are you doing? Quit whining. Ain't no one ever died from a scratch. Hit me with a rock, you stupid bitch. Big one. Think could have killed me. The old woman shrugged. Death is the best cure for stupid. Demo's face twisted with rage at her words. Locking his eyes onto Kaine, he took a step backward and spat on the ground. Get out. Leave this village. No one wants you here, either of you. Seeing the old woman... Hi Pix, thank you very much for the resub.
Much love to you, my friend. I hope you are well.
I'm doing my best, Pix. Thank you. Doing better than I was last weekend, that's for fucking sure and certain. That resub notification came at a very dramatic time. Hello Mel, thank you for the love, it is appreciated. I am sending it back to you. I hope you're doing well. Seeing the old woman grab another stone, Demo and his companions turned tail and ran. As they fled, the old woman grabbed aside and barked out a single laugh. Ha! Look at the fat boy go. Guess he's healthy enough to run from a fight. The woman's smile faded as she turned her attention to Kaine. Kneeling down, she removed her shawl and placed it around the young girl's shoulders, then produced a cloth from the folds of her dress and began blotting at the blood on her forehead. Oh, Kaine, she said. Why didn't you fight back? You're stronger than that, Lord. The words of her grandmother strung Kaine, and she turned away. Don't be nice to me, she said. I don't deserve it. Nothing matters anymore. Her tears, held in check for so long, finally began to fall on the muddy ground below. Everyone hates me. They think I cause bad things to happen. They think I'm a freak. I wish I was dead. As Kaine's tears turned to sobs, she felt her grandmother's hands on her shoulders. Despite her advanced age and diminutive size, she was a woman of surprising strength, and Kaine found herself unable to turn away. Don't talk like that, girl. It's a river wide and deep that flows between the realms of this world and the next, and it grants no mercy to any that attempt the crossing. You've got a duty to fight until your last breath. Understand? The old woman tightened her grip and tried to still the tremor in her voice. You know the pain of losing someone close to you, Kaine. You know because you survived it. As the words hit home, Kaine was struck by the force of her love for the old woman. As a young child, she didn't even know of her grandmother, but when her parents died, the woman quickly accepted her as her own. Grandma, as Kaine called her, was cunning, vulgar, and quick to violence, and their first few years together had not been easy. But with each year that passed, Kaine and her grandmother had grown closer. However, it was only now, sitting in the mud with tears and blood caking her face, that Kaine truly understood the depths of her affection. Here was a woman who had seen hard times, who had seen death, who'd fought through all these things and somehow emerged on the other side. If anyone could understand Kaine's pain and loneliness, it was her. I make you sick, Grandma? Of course not. Don't be an ass. Kaine drew her grandmother's moth-eaten shawl around her body and shuddered. But my body, it's not normal. If I was normal, then Mum and Dad wouldn't... Hush, interrupted Grandma. I'll not hear another word of this nonsense. You're my granddaughter, and I love you, and if folks have a problem with that, they can just go to hell. Grandma's the only valid character in this entire game. Except, obviously, for Kaine, my beloved. With that, the old woman reached out and placed a wreath of dried flowers in Kaine's hair. The skill it took to bend the flowers without breaking the stems or losing a single petal was remarkable, and the beauty of it made Kaine want to cry all over again. Oh my gosh, these are lunar tears. Grandma, you made this for me? As always, sorry for the frame drops. Lunar tears were legendary flowers. Most people could live their entire lives without ever seeing one. And yet her grandmother had somehow collected a dozen or more. Kaine reached up and touched the wreath as if she couldn't believe it was real. Where did you find these? Just stumbled on them while I was out doing the shopping. At some point I am going to grow these for the achievement. The old woman turned away as she spoke, leaving Kaine to suspect the search had been more difficult than she was letting on. The pain she took to construct the ornament, let alone track down the flowers used in its construction, made Kaine's heart hurt. She reached up and gently adjusted the wreath, admiring the way it felt between her fingers. It didn't quite turn out right, said her grandmother as she squinted at it. These old hands have trouble with delicate work, but it sure looks good on a pretty girl like you. Kaine blushed and turned away. Think I'm pretty? Of course you are. What a fool thing to say. Thank you, Grandma. Her grandmother smiled. We're going to be fine, you and me, she said. Long as we got each other, we'll be just fine. Insert stop crying emoji here. Kaine took her grandmother's hand in hers, and the two of them struggled to their feet. As they began the long walk home, Kaine gripped the hand with all her might, as if trying to stop smoke from drifting away on the wind. The rain had stopped. Kaine stood beneath the weather vane, watching it spin in lazy circles, no longer caring about the direction it faced when it stopped. I don't need to escape. I have a home now. Grandma loves me, and that's enough, even if it's us against the world. Kaine let her gaze drift up past the vane and into the cloudy sky. The last faint hits of a rainbow were slowly fading. As she turned and headed for home, the light scattered into a million particles and vanished, seemingly taken away on the breeze. Kaine's dreams, daily life. In the distance, Kaine heard the steady sounds of an axe striking wood. The noise had a personal quality to it, as if she were hearing the master woodsman go about his work. The firewood being produced, however, was as far from a work of art as could be. Pieces of every shape and size were being flung about Barren Yard with wild abandon. Anyone trying to stack such wood would probably die of frustration before the job was through. Stupid piece of shit axe. Kaine's grandmother flailed away with the axe, filling the air with both splinters of wood and words that would make the most hardened sailor blush. Sorry. Grandma, called Kaine. Thank you, Kaine, yelled the old woman, taking her eyes off the wood for a moment. Don't get too close, or I might take your goddamn foot off by mistake. She brought the axe down on a piece of wood, sending chips flying in every direction. One spun past Kaine close enough for her to hear the whistle, at which point she decided to step back. When she scuttled to a safe distance, she cupped her hands around her mouth and shouted, Grandma, do you need help? I can get you water or lunch or a new axe or something? The axe, poised to strike another wobbly blow, paused in mid-air. The old woman considered her granddaughter's offer for a moment, then smiled. Tell you what, since I'm doing such a piss-poor job of chopping, why don't you come here and take over so I can go get the water? Jades have been restless lately, and I don't want you running into one of them bastards. Relinquishing the axe, her grandmother picked up a long pole with wooden buckets on either end. Gathering water was by far the more difficult of the two jobs, but Kaine knew better to complain. Once Grandma's mind was set, there was no changing it. Kaine did her best to help with chores, but Grandma took every task that required travel to the village. Though she had a long list of plausible excuses, Kaine knew the real reason. She didn't want her granddaughter to be taunted and harassed by the villagers. Once Kaine moved in, Grandma decided to take up residence a good distance from the area. It's pretty bit on me. Out of sight, out of mind seemed to be the best policy when it came to the villagers and their granddaughter. And rare were the days when any but the two of them could be found on the rocky acre of land they called home. Kaine enjoyed the solitude, but hardened a secret resentment that her grandmother was forced to spend her golden years in such a place. After watching her grandmother leave, Kaine turned her attention to the task at hand. She'd never chopped wood before in her life, and soon discovered why the old woman hated the chore. Swing after swing of the axe produced only a tiny crack in the wood. When she finally managed to connect with a solid stroke, the tool embedded itself in the log and refused to budge. Frustrated, Kaine swung the axe around her head and threw it, log and all, across the yard. Damn it. Crap. She suddenly understood the joy her grandmother felt in a good curse. Happier now, she picked up the axe, forced it from the wood and resumed chopping. She had a natural skill with a blade, but the task was challenging and blisters soon began to form on her small, pink hands. This is tough, and my logs are all weird sizes. Spitting on her palms and ignoring the pain, Kaine redoubled her efforts. Just as she was developing a rhythm, Grandma returned from the village. Setting down her buckets with a small sigh, she took one look at the logs and coughed out a wheezy laugh. Pretty clumsy, girl. You better practice if you... Her grandmother suddenly collapsed to her knees, causing one of the buckets to wobble precariously. Eyes wide, Kaine dropped the axe and ran to her grandmother's side. Grandma! The old woman shook her head and pointed a trembling finger at the bucket. At the bucket. Can't let it spill. Kaine steadied the bucket with her foot as she knelt by her grandmother. A small bit of water sloshed over the side and made a new home in the hem of the dress, but she didn't notice. Grandma? Grandma, what's happening? Crazed with panic, she grabbed her grandmother by the shoulders and shook. After a moment, the woman lifted her arms and battered Kaine away. Stop that. Just stop, she cried, breathing heavily. It ain't like I'm dying. Just tired from the trip is all. Kaine desperately wanted to believe her, but one look at the old woman's shaking hands and worn face told her more than words ever could. Her grandmother had lived a long, hard life, and it seemed the bill was finally coming to. The time when her grandmother watched over Kaine was ending. Smoother than either of them had feared, the positions would be reversed. The next morning, Kaine came to the side of her grandmother's bed and took her wrinkled hand. Grandma, you're sick and you need medicine. I'm going to the village. The old woman shook and tried to rise, but Kaine gently pushed her down. It's all right, she said. I'll be fine. Her grandmother fixed her with a gaze that could melt steel. After what seemed like an eternity, she finally lowered her eyes and sighed. I don't like it, goddammit. But I guess I should quit being so stubborn and let you grow up. The old woman watched as Kaine strapped on her boots and made her way down the road to the village. Hours later, as an unseen sun made its way across a dark and rainy sky, she was still watching. Kaine moved at a brisk pace, checking her pockets every few minutes to make sure the money her mother gave her was still there. Every noise caused her to spin on her heels, making sure she wasn't being stalked by Shade or worse, Demo and his gang. But she encountered neither Tormentus nor Shades, and finally found herself at the entrance to the village. The few adults she could see glanced sideways at her, then muttered to each other behind raised hands before slinking away into the shadows. Her heart racing, Kaine took a series of rapid, shallow breaths and tried to calm herself. I have to prove myself. I have to help Grandma. I have to be strong. She chanted those words to herself over and over as she slowly made her way. Finally, her eye settled on a rotund older woman who was angrily waving her arms in the air and telling anyone who would listen exactly what she thought of Kaine's presence. Hey lady, said Kaine with a bravado she didn't feel. Where's the apothecary? The woman's flabby cheeks took in bewildered anger. How dare this thing speak to me, they seemed to say. But Kaine saw that her eyes held a different emotion. Fear. Yeah, we're both scared, lady. Trust me on this one. Which way? Kaine repeated. The woman pointed a small building to her right before hitching up her dress and stumbling off in the other direction. Kaine cringed, expecting a stone to come flying from the assembled crowd, but none came. Her mind was filled with a strange sense of pride as she made her way to the apothecary, but the new emotion had little time to take root, for as soon as she opened the door, she noticed a familiar customer at the counter. It was Demo. He'd clearly been sent on some kind of family errand because his gang of followers was nowhere to be found. Go, he sputtered. What are you doing here, freak? The insult was delivered without force, and Kaine happily ignored it. Stretching on tiptoes to see over the counter, she asked the shopkeeper for the medication. Ha! Barked Demo. That old bitch finally keel over? Go to hell, Demo. The boy's eyes grew so wide they seemed to fall out of his head. But before he could let fly a comeback or burst a punch, the apothecary told him to knock it off before he kicked them out the store. Demo slunk out of the shop, cursing Kaine under his breath. Once he was gone, she allowed herself to breathe once more, taking a brief tour of the shop while the owner prepared her medication. Countless tiny bottles filled the cramped store, each with a label written in some indecipherable language. An ocean of aromas assaulted her nose, creating a scent that was exotic but not altogether unpleasant. Seeing such a variety of supplies gave Kaine a sense of peace. Surely in a world so vast, there would be a place that she could call home. On the far wall behind the counter rested a portrait of a stunning young girl. The picture had once contained bright, vibrant colours, but time had worked its cruel magic and they were beginning to fade. The beauty of the work, however, remained undiminished. Like that picture? Kaine turned to find the apothecary with a small vial of medicine in his hand. His eyes were gentle but sad, and they seemed to stare through her and into nothing as he spoke. That's my daughter. I sketched it when she was just a little girl. She's been dead a long time now. Kaine didn't know how to respond. She just stared at the portrait and tried to come up with the right words. Pictures are wonderful things, continued the shopkeeper. They let the ones closest to you live on forever. He shook his head slightly, then looked down at Kaine and smiled. Handing her the medicine, he reached into a sizable green apron and produced a handful of old wax crayons. You should have these. There's no one left that I wish to draw. Kaine took an instinctive step back, causing the shopkeeper's face to darken. Yeah, I've heard the rumours about you, he said. It's a small village and word travels quickly. Between you and me, I'm not sure which of them to believe. But I also don't think they matter much. I know your grandmother, Kali, and I think the way she was driven out this town is just deplorable. Grandma's name is Kali? Thought Kaine suddenly. She was still mulling this fact over in her mind as she reached out and gently took the crayons from the apothecary's hands. Your grandmother's an old friend of mine, she said, as Kaine scooted away yet again. And I owe her much. I wager she'd like it if you drew a picture of her. Yes, I think she'd like that very much. Kaine murmured a quiet agreement, but inside her heart was bursting. Never before had a villager treated her with anything but complete contempt. It was a tiny, almost imperceptible step, but it was a step nonetheless, and with enough tiny steps she might one day discover the rest of the world. When Kaine returned home, she found her grandmother asleep in her bed. Her feet were blackened and raw, even bleeding in a few places, leaving Kaine to think she'd been pacing around the room until exhaustion finally caught up with her. She placed the medicine by her grandmother's pillow and turned to leave, but found the old woman's hand clasped around her arm. Back already, are you? Asked her grandmother with a yawn. Come here, let me have a look at you. Grandma sat up and examined Kaine from head to toe. Finally satisfied that nothing terrible had befallen her grandchild, she leaned back and allowed herself to relax. How was it? Those bastards give you any trouble? It was kind of fun, said Kaine with a small smile. No, seriously, it was. Fun, eh? Asked her grandmother in a voice which implied she believed anything but. Uh-huh. So anytime you need me to run an errand, just let me know. As she spoke, Kaine removed the crayons from her pocket. After a brief explanation of their source, she informed her grandmother that she was going to sketch a portrait. Portrait of me? Ridiculous. No one wants to stare at a wrinkled old crone. But Grandma, it'll make you live forever. Bullshit, said her grandma, throwing back the sheet from her bed. Living forever would just piss me off. Now put those crayons away and help with dinner. But Kaine would not relent, and in the end, Grandma found herself leaning against the wall of the house as if posing for a master artist. Kaine took up the crayons, eyed her subject carefully, and set to work. Just as her grandmother was about to nod off, Kaine finished the piece. After staring at it for a bit, she released it from her grip and let it slowly drift to the floor. It's terrible. Doesn't look like you at all. Sorry, Grandma. Thought these crayons would, make drawing easy or something. The old woman's eyes narrowed at her grandma's disappointment. Let me be the judge of that, she said, ignoring the pain in her back and reaching for the paper. The sketch could have been a person's face. It could also have been a boulder, a lump of clay, or an incredibly misshapen loaf of bread, all rendered in a chaotic array of colours. The old woman stared at the picture for a long time, then slowly wheezed out a laugh. Oh, Kaine, she said between laughter. You truly are my blood. You're as clumsy as me, and I love it. But, hush, I won't hear any more bull about how up do you think it is. It came from the heart, and I'll treasure it always. True to her word, the old woman gave the picture a place of honour above the kitchen table. In the days that followed, Kanye would often catch her staring at the portrait with a strange smile on her face, an action she interpreted as a silent, mocking laugh. A week later, Kanye could stand it no longer and asked her grandmother to take the artwork down. "Ha," said the old woman. "I'll take this down when they roll me in my shroud." She pondered this for a bit, then turned to Kanye and dropped to one knee. "Listen to me, girl. Seeing this picture makes me happy in a way I've never felt before, and it makes me want to go on so that someday you can feel the same happiness." It was a moment that burned itself in Kanye's memory, a perfect blend of love and joy that came together to form a lifelong remembrance. She swore to never forget this moment, to never forget the old woman who made a place in the world possible. Time moves on. People and memories move in and out of life like ghosts passing through a hall. But this moment will be different, Kanye swore, because I'll remember it forever. Forever. Kanye's dream. Separation. Kanye listened to the sound of crackling firewood and stared at the black object on her plate. She'd been pushing it around the wooden disc for 10 good minutes, ignoring the bemused stare of her grandmother. Finally, she summoned her courage and gave the object a brief sniff. A sharp, bitter scent flew up her nostrils and made its home there, causing her face to twist with disgust. "Grandma, I can't believe you want me to eat a bug." The old woman threw small wood under the cooking pot and snorted. "It's no bug, you fool girl. It's a berry. Why the hell would I be feeding you bugs?" "Well, it sure looks like a bug," said Kanye. "And I think it's burnt or something, because it smells terrible." With that, Kanye held her nose and threw the berry in her mouth, chewing as little as possible. "Oh yeah, that's terrible, all right." "Why, you little brat," laughed the old woman. "Look at the sass on you. You've been spending too much time with me, and that's a fact." 5 years had passed since the moment when Kanye's grandmother saved her from the bullies. Oops, did my controller disconnect, or did I click out of the game? As is often the way with stubborn people, the relationship had grown in fits and starts, but moved forward all the same. Meals that used to be somber affairs were now filled with laughter and held abuse in equal measures. Kanye could not remember a time when she had been happier. As years went by, she started to shoulder more of the daily responsibilities. Her grandmother's legs grew weaker by the day, and she could no longer do many of the chores she used to take for granted. And so this morning found Kanye lacing up her work boots with a breakfast of burned berry rolling through her belly. "Where are you going today?" asked Grandma suddenly. Kanye looked up, surprised. The old woman rarely asked for specifics now. "Well, I was going to check out the calmetries and see if they were right. I thought we could make some jam or something. Oh, and I'm going to pick up some flagstones, so I need to take the wheelbarrow." "Flagstones? What in the hell for?" Kanye stared at her grandmother, then held out an arm and swept it around the home. Constructed mostly of cloth, rope, and rubble, the old place sighed like a boxer on the final round. "Grandma, an old dying cat could chew through this house. I'm going to build a stone wall so we have some protection." The old woman laughed, exposing her toothless grin to the world. "God damn, girl. If a bunch of thieves want to ransack this old place, let them come. You've got nothing worth stealing anyway." "I'm not worried about thieves. I'm worried about shades." Whoops, watch as I keep hitting the wrong keys. People saw one west of the village yesterday. The old woman tilted her head and stared at her granddaughter. "Oh shoot, I don't know why I have to do it today. We can worry about it some other..." "Grandma, no. I don't go to the calmetries. We won't eat tonight. You know that." A confused expression passed across the old woman's face, and for a moment she was a small child lost at a carnival. "Yes," she said after a bit. "Of course you're right. I'm sorry, Kanye. Lately it seems my mind is..." She didn't finish her thought, instead walking over to the nightstand and gently taking the wreath of lunar tears from the drawer. The flower's petals had aged to a brilliant whiteness, and Kanye thought it was more beautiful now than the day she'd first received it. "You're going to be a true woman soon," Grandma said, as she placed the flowers in the girl's hair. "So that means less chatter about shades and building defensive walls, and more talk about how beautiful you've become." Annoyed, Kanye reached up to remove the garland, but the look on her grandmother's face stopped her hand. "You're a beautiful thing," said the old woman, "and there ain't another like you in the whole world. I'm very proud of you." "Okay, Grandma, that's enough goddamn compliments for one day." "Such a mouth on you. Where did that come from?" "Gee, I wonder." "I'll teach you to sass me, girl," yelled Grandma. Suddenly she lurched forward and grabbed Kanye by the ears, pulling her around the room with a crazed grin on her face. "Grandma," yelled Kanye in a quaking voice. "Grandma, stop it. What the hell?" The old woman stared at her and blinked, then slowly held her wrinkled hands out, as if it was the first time she'd ever seen them. "I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry, girl. Sometimes my mind just..." Kanye thought the look on her grandmother's face was the most heartbreaking thing she'd ever seen. "Listen," she began. "Maybe I should stay home after all. No, I won't have you stay here to keep an eye on an old codger like me. You go get your fruit and wool and whatnot. I'll be fine. When you come back, I'll have a nice grasshopper dinner waiting for you. Tiny rolled her eyes, then kissed her grandmother on the forehead, and made ready to depart, trying desperately to ignore the worry that was gnawing at the walls of her heart. Kaine could feel the old woman's eyes watching her as she moved down the path. Don't turn around, she told herself. But in the end, the temptation was too great. She spun on her heel for one final look and saw a small, bent woman standing in front of a ramshackle hut with a sad expression on her face. She looks all old now. It's like the wind could reach down and just carry her away. Kaine worried about her grandmother all day, causing her work to suffer. What little fruit she could find was tossed carelessly into the wheelbarrow, and she only found a couple of stones before losing her interest in the project. Finally, as dusk approached, she decided to call it a day. Cursing herself for a lack of focus, Kaine pushed the nearly empty wheelbarrow back down the path. As she crossed the final hill, she suddenly froze in place. The wheelbarrow fell from her fingers and collapsed on its side, sending a few pieces of wrinkled brown fruit rolling back down the hill. Her gaze was transfixed by a thick black cloud that hovered just ahead. Tracing its path with her finger, Kaine suddenly felt her stomach knotting in herself. Oh, gods no. Her grandmother's house was ablaze, the flames licking up as if trying to touch the sky itself. Grandma? Grandma! Kaine ran there, faster than she'd ever moved in her life. Once she tripped on a stone and went sprawled into the rocky ground, but she leapt to her knees and continued running, unmindful of the blood that spilled from her wounded hands and knees. As she got closer and closer, her mind began to race in time with her footfalls. It's too dark. It's too dark. Not just fire. It can't be fire. Too much smoke. Gotta save her. She burst into the front yard and came to a sudden halt, her worst suspicions confirmed. The smoke from the fire was mingling with the thick, inky blackness of an enormous shade. The massive creature supported itself on 3 twisted feet, and she balanced through means of a large armored tail. Scales, horns, and claws sprouted from its body in a random, chaotic pattern, giving it the appearance of a lizard designed by some insane god. Seeing Kaine, it let out a roar and flicked its tail, sending small whirlwinds spinning round the yard. For a moment, the creature retreated into a shimmering, inky blackness, as if her mind was unable to comprehend the thing could actually exist. But then the smell hit her, a blend of rotted meat and excrement, and horror became real once more. The creature bellowed again, and this time, Kaine responded with a scream of her own. Right, you bastard, she thought, as the scream echoed off the high cliffs around them. It's you or me. Let's go. The shade eyed Kaine with amused interest. Then it began looking from her to the house, and back again, as if urging her to look at the destruction it so gleefully wrought. With dread building in her heart, Kaine glanced towards the house. Through the smoke and flames, she spotted a small figure struggling to escape the ruins. Grandma! At the sound of her voice, the old woman began waving frantically. She's alive, thought Kaine. Alive! Her legs sprang to life as she raced across the yard towards the flaming wreckage of the house. Before she could advance more than a few steps, the shade opened its mouth and let out a roar powerful enough to uproot trees and send them flying. The blast sent Kaine tumbling through the air before smashing her against the rocky earth. Stars danced in front of her eyes as she tried to remember how her legs worked. Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up now! As Kaine struggled to her feet, the shade stomped towards the house and pinned her grandmother to the ground with the tip of a claw. The old woman struggled to move the claw from her stomach, but she might as well have been pushing him at her. She coughed briefly, sending a small spray of blood into the air, then collapsed to the ground, her energy spent. Kaine lurched to her feet, only to fall back to the earth with a gasp. Her ankles were on fire, one or both of them surely broken. It really hurt. I'm also very dizzy, which is concerning given I had lunch like an hour before stream. So I might have to take a break and go grab probably some fruit. See if that undisifies me. Ignoring the pain that screamed through her body, she began dragging herself across the ground, leaving a drunken trail of dust and blood in her wake. Grandma, hold on, just a little longer. Her grandmother's face was turning blue, her eyes rolling back until only the whites were exposed. Kaine pulled herself across the ground with maddening slowness, the distance seeming to increase with every second that passed. The shade glanced between the two women and flicked out its tongue, its giant mouth turning up at the corners. Short, panting breaths belched from somewhere deep inside its core. Bastard. Laughing at us. She had no idea how such a mindless creature could experience emotion. There could be no doubt the Shade was taking joy in their suffering. I see your plan. The Shade moved its claws slightly, allowing Grandma to breathe again. It was clearly keeping her alive, only to snap at her life when Kaine was close enough to touch her. I'm gonna kill this bastard. Summoning all her strength, Kaine rose to her feet. There was a sickening snap from her right ankle as her foot twisted backward, but she forced it from her mind and began to hobble towards the monster. Oops, wrong button. Always wrong button. Pulling a small knife from the pouch of her waist, she leapt on the foot that pinned her grandmother and plunged the weapon deep. "Give her back," she screamed. "Give her back to me." It was like stabbing a rock. After a few swipes, the knife broke at the hilt with a dull snap. The Shade panted laughter again, then raised its tail and sent it rushing through the air towards the young girl that was latched onto its foot. Kaine never had a chance. The tail struck her square in the chest and sent her crashing into the burning wreckage of the home. As she lay on the ground with blood pouring from multiple wounds, a small, weak voice spoke up. "Kaine?" Kaine's vision blurred, but she forced herself to focus on the ground. Finally, her eyes cleared enough for her to make out her grandmother's hands reaching out to her towards the smoke. Through the smoke, cheers. "Grandma? Kaine, gotta run. Can't miss this one." Kaine grabbed the hands and held on with all her strength. "Grandma, come on. We have to go." The old woman coughed loudly. One of her hands, slick with blood, slipped from Kaine's grasp and thumped to the ground below. Reading about the Shades reminded me, after last stream, I spent all the evening looking up exactly what actually was the deal with the Shades and the not Shades and stuff. Because I was very confused and it didn't explain it, because obviously it's Route A. Why explain things in Route A? It was good. Grandma, no. So run, goddammit. You have to live. You have to get through. The thought would stay forever unfinished. Before she could say another word, the Shade's clawed foot descended, smashing through the remains of the roof and down upon the shattered figure of the old woman. Blood oozed from the gaps in the creature's toes as the terrible, putrid smell assaulted Kaine's nose once again. She stared at the foot, dumbfounded, convinced that what she was seeing could not possibly be real. When the creature finally lifted its appendage, all that remained underneath was a twisted, unrecognizable mass of rubble and red. Her grandmother was gone. Kaine blinked, trying to feel the hand which had just been in hers a moment before. For a fleeting instant she could remember the warmth of that embrace, the trembling of the fingers, but then the sensation drifted away in the breeze and was gone. Memories flashed through Kaine's mind, one after the other, faster and faster, until they became a meaningless jangle of noise. Kaine screamed then, a thunderous sound that echoed off the cliffs and seemed to roll away forever. The Shade eased forward, black ichor pouring from its mouth and dissolving into smoke on the ground below. The earth shook with every step as it crept towards its prey. Kaine's body slowly rose as if controlled by a mad puppet master. Her legs and arms were bent at impossible angles. This is really stomach-turning to read. Her head lolled dangerously to the side. Yet somehow she managed to stand. Staring at the Shade, her eyes began to glow with a deep red fire. The creature, so confident just a moment before, took a slow, hesitant step backwards, trying to discern if this broken human could possibly pose a threat. Kaine seized the moment. Laughing like a madwoman, she leapt into the air and plunged the shattered hilt of the knife deep into the leg of the Shade. The Shade shook Kaine off like a fly, sending her crashing to the earth once again. Her chest rose and fell slowly, as if a great weight were resting on it. Moist sounds of pain echoed through her mind. Something warm and thick oozed from her ears. Is that blood? I think it is. I think I'm bleeding to death. Why? Grandma told me to live. Deep inside Kaine's mind, something finally broke. The sound, the pain, the smoke and flames, all of it faded away until all that remained was a single incantation repeated over and over again. Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. And so on and so forth. Kill it now. As the spark that was Kaine slowly began to flicker and die, she felt her desire to kill and her desire to live blend into one. The distance between heartbeats grew longer and longer and longer. My queen.
The beast approaches. Oh, I know.
Completely unrelated, but should I put Kaine in? I'd rather put her in A2's dress. Okay, I'm assuming.
What anger this creature must have. How did it even survive these past 5 years?
I don't want to
I'm
know.
not gonna let this happen again. It
What
dies
to-
today.
Focus on this tentacle, please.
Swords, lighter. It's not the blade, but the skill of the user. Strike it down.
So it's level 30, whatever hits, you know? Nice. Also, okay, Kaine's dreams encounter. I've got an opinion, which is that the excuse for why Kaine outfit is as skimpy as it is genuinely one of the only good excuses for this I've ever seen. Apparently, I'm not sure if this is true, but I believe it's because of the shade that possesses her, she keeps that covered up as much as possible and then keeps the rest of her body exposed to as much light as possible. And then it's also the fact that she is like trying to emphasize her femininity, which like the two of them makes a lot of sense. The like outfit makes sense because of the femininity, in my opinion, and then the skimpiness of the outfit, the fact like literally because of we know how the shades and darkness and light works, it makes sense to me. It's one of the few like excuses I've seen that is valid in the in-game setting, as opposed to like with the robots in Automata, where I believe it's just Yoko Taro saying, "I thought they looked cute." Gently, weakly, softly. The shade, sure that its tormentor was dead, turned and stomped off towards the horizon, stopping along the way to bellow one final roar. Couldn't kill it. Shame beyond imagining, Kaine tried to turn her head to the side, but only succeeded in coughing up a huge gout of blood. It was getting difficult to see, and only after a moment of fierce concentration did she realize that her left eye was gone. Laughing to herself, she turned her remaining eye to the ruins of her home, and noticed, gross, a ragged stump of arm resting a few feet away. Yep, that's mine, she thought with a mad giggle. This is gonna make clapping a real bitch. God, I love you, Kaine. I love you so much, queen of my heart. Ha! Cried a sudden voice from the depths of the night. Finally gonna die, are you? Well, you had it coming. Go to hell, demon. She thought at the unseen assailant. Go to hell before I pluck at your eyes and feed them to a dog. The voice of a childhood terror evaporated into smoke, only to be replaced by another, more recent voice. Hold still, said the apothecary, materializing from the ruins like a ghost. I want to draw you. That way you can live forever. Stop. I don't want to live forever. I want to die right here. I see, he said. What if that's what you want? The spectral shopkeeper fluttered in and out of existence for a moment, then produced a piece of paper and sketched quietly. After a few seconds, he turned the page to Kanye and smiled. Since you rejected my offer, I decided to draw someone else. It was a picture of a grandmother, real as life. Kanye opened her mouth to thank the man, but stopped as the picture began to blacken in the middle. Before she could say anything, dozens of multi-legged insects began to swim across the image, tearing at it with sharpened pincers. Stop. No. Not that picture. Kanye reached out with her remaining arm and waved futilely at the air. To surprise, the insects fell off the picture into the ground below, where they vanished into tiny black tendrils of smoke. Relieved, Kanye turned a good eye back to the picture, only to open her mouth in a silent scream. The sketch now showed her grandmother as she truly was. A smashed, unrecognisable lump of nothing. The apothecary smiled, then broke into a jolly dance. See that? He cried as he danced his jig. It's perfect now. She looks just like you. Haha. I look like that? I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Drowning in despair, Kanye laid her head back in the mud and spoke over a ruined house and waited for the end to come. But just before she let everything go, an unfamiliar voice began whispering in her ear. Ain't you got a wish, sunshine? The voice was vulgar and fierce at the same time, as if insanity had somehow found a way to take form. Kanye wanted to scream as the voice crawled under her skin, but her lungs refused to work. You know, a wish? Like a prayer or something? Why don't you get on your knees and start praying to heaven? Please, invisible man in the sky, save me! Save me! Haha! Kanye finally resorted to shouting at the voice with all her might. I don't make wishes. They don't come true for me. I'm a curse. Weak. Should be left to die. The other voice boomed in her ears. Haha! God, you are the best. Kanye glanced down and saw a black, shiny substance oozing from her legs. She tried to brush it away, but her remaining arm would no longer respond. The substance slowly crept around her feet and began moving up towards the rest of her body. Is this death? Is this what it's like? Or is my mind just losing itself? She could feel the slime oozing upward, feel the hot, searing pain it left in its wake. Whatever else might be happening, she was still alive, and this was real. So I also looked this up. I knew I was going to be spoiling myself, but contextless, I was like, I don't get it. And I tried to read up on the context, and it made no sense. But reading up on the context, all it did was make me think, please, heck God, PC remake of the Drakengard series, or like emulator or something, because I really want to play it for the understanding of how it ties into Automata and to the NieR roads more than anything else. Come on, said the voice. Let it go. Kanye tried to ignore the voice and concentrate on the pain, but the newcomer would have none of it. Don't ignore me, sunshine. You're ready to give up? Ready to die? So why not let me have it? Have what? Your body. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. I want to stand on the ground, feel the rain, taste the wind. The voice paused as if licking its lips. When it resumed, it was filled with a mad, unabated joy. I want to take your hands and use them to choke the goddamn life out of people. I want to tear out their throats and bathe in the blood, just like before. In response, Kanye shifted her head and vomited. Gross, so mingled with the pain of the encroaching black ooze. You a shade? Maybe. What of it? The slime reached her face, crept up past her nose, and slowly oozed into the socket of her missing eye. The moment it touched her brain, Kanye was struck by the most powerful sensation she'd ever felt in her life. It was ecstasy. She wanted to scream with delight, but all she could manage was a small, whispered moan. Feels good, don't it? Asked the voice with a chuckle. What can I say? I know how to please the ladies. Now give me that body. Give me that body and I'll give you more of this feeling. It's a fair trade. A black lump began to protrude from Kanye's side. As she watched, it grew longer and thicker, eventually taking the form of her missing eye. I can see better, she thought. My eye must be growing back too. The slime reached up to envelop the rest of her face, but she managed to brush it away. Stop, she whispered, marvelling at how she'd regained her voice. Stop. The black ooze hesitated as considering this request, then quickly shimmered down her body before disappearing in a cloud of smoke. For some reason, my controller disconnected it. There we go. What the hell, sunshine? From the voice. We had a deal. But you wanted to die. What's going on here? Grandma said, die yet. A brief image of her grandmother, bloodied and broken, flashed before her eyes. She saw the slave that had killed her and heard its mocking laughter, then closed her eyes and forced the image from her mind. Her whole body was quaking with rage. When she opened her eyes again, they burned bright red. That thing took my grandmother. I have to kill it before I die. Kaine glanced down and saw a mysterious pattern of the shades burn itself into her left arm. Well, I'll be damned, said the voice cheerfully. Look at that, sunshine. I think you and me are going to be good friends now. Kaine stared intently at her arm. The more emotional she felt, the more the letter seemed ready to puncture her skin and begin affecting the rest of her body. The arm clearly had a will of its own now. Why are you doing this, computer? Stop. Gotta stop. Holding her left arm in her right, Kaine took a deep breath and tried to calm herself. Come on, don't fight it, pleaded the voice. It's my favourite dish and I'm hungry. Let it go. Feel the anger. Burn with the fire of revenge. Thirst for blood? Then go out there and shut up. Shut the hell up and get the hell out of my body. Your body? Oh, that's rich, sunshine. Real rich. What's happening here? Look, why don't you just shut up and die and I can have this body all to myself? What do you say? I bet those buddies of yours in Eerie would love to see you dead. Kaine grabbed a nearby shadow glass and tried to saw off the shade-infected portion of her side. Before she could, her darkened left arm grabbed her right wrist, crushing it. Kaine screamed and dropped the shard as the sound of bone crunching on bone filled the air. Stupid idiot girl. You're possessed now, sunshine, and there ain't no going back. The voice laughed again. A loud, long wail that seemed to go on without end. Possessed? Whispered Kaine. Possessed? You and me? We got what you might call a timeshare agreement. Check something there. Remember how folks used to think you were a freak? Well, wait till they get a load of you now. Kaine looked up, tears in her eyes. The sky seemed smaller somehow, darker. Is this because of the shade? Is this how they see the world? So, listen, said the voice. I know this whole possession thing seems a bit sudden, but it ain't all bad. There's plenty of it in it for you too. I'm a very powerful creature, sunshine. And now that power belongs to you. You got enemies? People you want killed? I can make that happen. The little fat kid who kept picking on you? The big old shade that squashed your granny? We'll wrap them up in their own assholes. No more abuse for you, sunshine. No more pain. Wait, said Ken. Shade. Why would you help me kill another shade? Think I'm some kind of racist? Some kind of killing snob? I don't give a goddamn how you murder honeypots. I just want a drink from the well. Kaine considered this as he struggled to her feet, the power of the shade coursing through her. The smoke from her house was drifting with the wind, and she enjoyed the way the cool evening breeze felt on her new left arm. After a long pause, the voice spoke up again. So how about it? You and me? We could have some good times together. Look, I'll even take care of the bloody part if you don't mind. Fuck off, asshole, said Kaine. I'll handle the killing. Ha ha! Screamed the voice. Look at you go. Oh, sunshine, we're gonna have so much fun. So listen, my name's Tyran, and if you ever need me, I'll just be hanging out in this piece of meat you call a heart. Now get to it. The more you kill, the more your heart turns rotten and sour, and I like rotten and sour. Kaine found herself nodding at the voice. Yeah, she said. Yeah, I think this can work. I'm gonna find that shade, and I'm gonna strangle it with its own guts. And when I'm done, I'm gonna do the same to you, Tyran. Count on it. Ha, Tyran. I've shit bigger than you, so good luck with that. And hey, One more thing. You and me are sharing this body, but if you ever run out of hate, if you ever, go soft, then I'm gonna take over everything. So keep on skin and sunshine, and watch your back. The voice grew fainter and greatly faded away, fading to somewhere deep inside Kane herself. Kane waited until she was sure the voice was gone, then waved her new left arm around a few times. Feels perfectly normal, she thought. Feels like mine. Desperately, she began poking and prodding at the lamp, determined to find something wrong with it. She didn't want it to feel normal. That would mean the creature inside her had already won. I'm not a shade. I'm Kane. Repeating this mantra in her mind, she slowly began digging through the rubble of the house, being careful to ignore a certain red-stained spot in the corner. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of heartbreaking work, she found what she was looking for. It was the wreath of lunar tears. Though it had been dragged through hell and back, the garland's petals were as bright as ever. Kanye started to place it in her hair, then slowly lowered the wreath and stared at it. Sorry, Grandma. So sorry. But I don't deserve to wear this anymore. I'm possessed, corrupted, a freak. And this time I don't think there's any going back. Holding the flowers to her heart, Kanye fell to the ground and sobbed. As night gradually lightened to dawn, and the people at the area rose to their daily lives, she remained in that position, as if tears could somehow wash away the horror that now affected her world.
Alive. Stay alive. Stay alive.
Grandma.
Kaine, you gotta live. You gotta come back to us.
Oh, hey. Emil, you were the one calling me, weren't you?
You still recognize me?
Of course. I knew you right away.
Thank you, Kaine.
Welcome back, Kaine.
Wow, you grew up.
Hey.
So, how long has it been?
5 years.
Gay.
Shit. That's a long time. Any luck with Yona?
We are still no closer to finding her. We need a way to locate the Shadow Lord.
By the way, this is for you.
Is that a lunar tear?
It's not as good as your grandmother's, but I tried.
No, it's great. Thank you.
Glad that we apparently grew that off camera.
Kaine waking from her long petrified sleep. Emil's unflagging kindness. Our reunion was a happy one, and we let it wash over us like rain. That is, until Devila and Popola had to go and ruin it all. Are you kidding me? You can't be serious.
As I understand it, Root B has, it's the same rough story, but there are differences, I guess, in maybe, what story beats happen and what people say. And also there's a side quest that I'm going to do as soon as I unlock it, because it's the side quest that I didn't get done last time around. And after this, I only have to worry about upgrading materials.
Please, try to understand.
Not again, stupid controller.
People are tired and scared, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to bear the brunt of that.
This is crap, and you know it.
It's okay. We can sleep outside.
No one's sleeping outside. You and Kaine saved this village, and now they want to run you out?
People are afraid of us. And really, I understand. I mean, look at me. As long as you're still with us, I can deal with it.
Still.
Right, Kaine?
I'm used to sleeping outside.
But
Not an
We'll
excuse.
see you later.
Sorry about this.
What is the matter?
Kaine always sleeps outside. I never thought about that until just now. Never even occurred to me. Damn it.
We should turn in.
I didn't get much sleep that night. For the first time in my life, I hated Devila. For the first time in my life, I doubted Popola.
Eyes emoji.
But those feelings are pointless in the end. They said and did what they did for the sake of the village. To protect it from the horror of the Shades. Really, how can I blame Devila and Popola? In the end, I'm just as bad. Because I never once stopped to think about Kaine and Emil's situation myself. I should apologize to Kaine and Emil. But what good would that even do?
I got a fire going, Kaine.
Wait, is that?
Campfires are weird. I'm so happy to get to talk to you again, Kaine.
Yeah, me too.
I tried everything I could think of to save you, you know. I polished you with a special cloth. I poured warm water over you.
Wait, you poured water on me?
Yeah. It didn't really do much except make you all shiny.
Hey, Emil. Thanks for saving me.
I guess you noticed how I look different now.
I'm sorry, Emil. I'm sorry for all of it.
Sorry, I'm just checking something incredibly quickly. And it seems some information. Okay, right, so C is the one where I need all the weapons. Oh. Right. Nice. Okay, cool. I was checking how to get the endings because I had a moment of worry.
Well, I mean, this new form isn't all bad, you know? At least I can look at you when we talk, right? Hey, so why don't you tell me something about yourself?
I'm not very interesting. Sorry.
Come on, I just want to know you better. Please?
Fine. This all happened when I was a kid. Before the whole shade possession thing. My body is different. And when the villagers found out about it, they started treating me like a freak. But one person, my grandmother, accepted me just as I was.
Little piggy gun, hog, wild hair.
No matter how bad things got, she gave me the strength to keep going.
She's really special to you, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, hey! That gives me an idea. Since we cured your petrification, we should start looking for a way to cure your possession in my body. I know we can do it if we all work together. Heck, It'll probably be super easy.
Let me guess. More warm water?
Okay. Can we just forget I told you about that?
I do love them.
Sleep well?
Sure.
And yet your red eyes tell a different tale.
Oh no, not red
Don't
eyes.
be so hard on yourself, lad.
I need to go see Devila and Popola.
Very well.
I want to check the thing. Yes, always believe in yourself. Seeds.
What might that be?
It's Mom's diary.
I have not heard you speak much about your mother.
She got the Black Scrawl and died when I was little.
My apologies for bringing it up.
It's all right. I can barely remember her face anymore. This is the only thing I have left of her. Reading it helps remind me of when we were still a family.
I see.
But the final entries get a little strange.
In what way?
Well, here, take a look.
I wasn't.
Say there. Can you not hear me?
I wasn't planning to do these now. Why are we suddenly?
Why are you standing about like a slack-jawed ninny?
Sorry. Felt like I was dreaming or something.
Sleeping on one's feet is quite the talent indeed. Come now, there's the door.
Right. Let's go.
Abruptly, we are Dagnia. No, I want to leave because I'm going to do these another time. Have a DLC special stream, I think.
My word.
Something wrong?
I feel as if I've just awoken from a most unpleasant dream.
I know what you mean. That happens to me whenever I read it.
Also, follow-up question, why is Dagnia shirtless? Anyway. And I've still got all my stuff, that's the main thing. Level 4 stuff. Grab that one. Oh yeah, I just wanted to. I'm sure if there's an achievement to get rid of. Invitation to a wedding. Go over this way super quickly because I want to see it. It's not pick upable yet. In that case, never mind.
Hey.
Oh, Hi. I kinda thought you'd never talk to us again.
I understand you're doing this for the village, and that you don't have a choice.
Looks
Pretty
around
much,
suspiciously.
yeah. But look, why don't you go talk to Popola? I think she wanted to discuss the Shadow Lord with you.
I'm headed there next. Oh, and Devila?
Yeah?
Sorry about yesterday. I shouldn't have lost my temper like that.
You don't need to apologize. Anyone would be upset when their friends are hurting. Let Emil and Kaine know that we're sorry, alright?
All right.
Egg.
I think it seems that this is...
Chatting to people in case there's something different.
I'm sorry for all the trouble, sir. Hey, mister?
Might be over this way.
What is the purpose of this place?
Beats me. Maybe it's Popola's hobby corner.
Okay, we're back to the haven't collected the bosses yet. I was wondering if there would be like a final boss statue, but you know.
Popola?
Oh. Hello.
Look, I want to apologize for
Stop. You didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, but neither did you. You're just trying to protect the villagers. And I jumped down your throat for it.
This guy's too good for
It's
the world.
very kind of you to say so. Regardless, please don't let it trouble you.
Ahem. I believe there was something you wished to discuss with us.
Oh, right. Yes, about that. You know about the lost shrine, right?
The temple where I was first discovered.
That's it. Well, it seems that the Shadow Lord's lair is connected to it somehow.
Oh, it was right under our pages the whole time.
But the bridge that leads there is unusable.
So, take a boat.
A boat?
Yes, the canal's finally been repaired. It took a lot longer than expected, what with the shades and all. I also asked them to provide a boat at the path to the Lost Shrine's back entrance. The ferryman will let you use it free of charge. That should make it easier for you to move from town to town.
Thanks, Popola. I feel like you've done so much for me. I'm really grateful. All right, I'll see you around.
And for the love of everything, be careful. And for the...
I shall certainly try my hardest. So, I want to go talk to everyone. Letter from Emil. So much, you're super strong and really cool. Hope I can see and kick butt someday. Maybe.
The path above the entrance to the shopping district should lead to the boat landing.
How excellent to know the canal is finished. Hopefully this puts our days of running all over behind us.
The faster we can move, the faster we can save Yona. Let's use it as often as we need.
I mean, don't worry, I intend to. Yes. Giant egg, good for me. I always think there's something shiny over there, and I'm always wrong. Radio's doing. Oops. But why? No game? Is this my curse for alt-tabbing? It is. God, I'm so glad that it is cooler now than it was last week, and I'm not, like, at this point, dying. I think by, like, this time last.
Oh, it's you, eh? Well, we're all counting on you.
This time last stream, I was, like, ready to disappear. I just want to go over here and see. Two of them?
He's not here. I wonder where he went.
Oh! It's related to a side quest much, much later, I think.
Why did he have to die? What is this black scrawl anyway? Why does this only happen to us? Why?
Perhaps we should be going.
Also, like, absolutely valid questions, you know?
Hey, look who it is. Remember me?
That red bag. By my pages, you're the slovenly half of that couple who refused to stop arguing.
Hey, it's been a while.
Sure has. I've been in charge of this canal since we last talked. Apparently I did a pretty good job with it because they decided to make me the permanent ferryman.
Oh yeah, huh? Congrats.
Thanks. Still, it's not all puppies and unicorns. The old ball and chain is always harping on me now about how much I work. Anyway, if you got a place to be, just let me know and I'll take you there.
Right now, we want to go to shrine.
The Lost Shrine's up ahead, just past this cave.
As well as the Shadow Lord's castle.
Let us make haste.
Not yet got a side quest for me. Cool, that's fine. It's fine. Told me a story before bedtime the other day about a husband and wife with matching red bags. Said they fight all the time, but they also get along great. That's all. What do you want? Go away, dirty, defective swine. I'm not like you. I'm different. I'm pretty certain, but not entirely, that this is where the in Automata, in the city centre, where later down the line the tower comes out and there's that huge, like, I can't remember. It's been so long since I played on Route A in Automata, but when there's that, like, big old in the city, I'm relatively certain that this is where that is. I suppose it would make thematic sense as well, what with spoiler alert, Shadow Lord's castle being up there. No? Whoops, bear with. Right, a few frame drops, but all good. Okay. Good, there we are. You again? Stop bothering me. Grandma Weiss has been taken away. Hansel is dead. There's no reason for me to exist anymore. My life is over. Just leave me alone. What? This will have to Google Hansel and Gretel's in this game and see if they were. Actually, I have a suspicion. Just want to check it extremely quickly. Gretel, yeah. What? Accidentally click on an ad when I'm... It just says that they're a pair of pistols, it doesn't say.
Ain't you excited, sunshine? We finally get to bathe in blood.
Don't talk to me.
I want to kill so bad I can barely stand it.
I love Kaine. Nobody was surprised by me just thinking about how much I love her, how wonderful she is, best cat. So, here's the door that doesn't look like it's going to open right now. Came to work on Ezra. I was not paying attention to what that does. Okay. Had the need to do that, you know? You know how it be. You just feel the need to explore everywhere just in case. Where's the other one? Oh, there we go. That's over there. Well, I'll just let it do its funky thing. Oops. So the whoops is because I mentally. Back to my sorry. The whoops is because I accidentally snagged some clothing.
This is all too easy.
I don't say words. I wonder what this was before. It's clearly a elevator. Reading. Is my goal as a nosy person to explore every single room? Doesn't matter whether I need to or not. Doesn't matter if it has anything or not. I will explore it because of who I am as a person. Yeah, okay. We go. Being able to jump over these makes it much easier. Huh? Shade says, turn back, turn back.
What's with these guys?
Certainly not your garden variety, Shades.
Their bodies aren't fully functional.
Say, I've heard of this. A cursed area where incomplete shades gather.
I can feel the thing over there. It's a green orb and it's calling for me. It's just an herb. Okay, whatever. Nope. Wonderful, I do basically have to go through all of that again. Oh well, sorry. My desire to find herb that I didn't need killed my common sense. Sure you understand. I'm guessing we can understand the shades because of Tyran/King Kaine. Big guess. Also, I looked up Tyran in case that was a name that I was supposed to know, and the answer is I'm not. But it is a reference apparently to, I don't know if it's a reference to Drengard or just the beginning of the Gestalt project, but anyway. It is. No, I can't carry anymore. Nope, whoops. There, hops. Go. One thing at a time. I didn't need sick. Somebody can't carry anyone. You stop with the strength capsule and start dropping ingredients. Look, great, just what I don't need. At least it's a good which can be exchanged for, okay, he's a big boy. Gives me the word Haju. No longer gives machines? Yes. Right. That's the way out. So let's not go that way just yet. Keep exploring on account of who I am as a person. Yes. There we go. Two herbs, which I don't need. And health salve that I don't need. Cool. Well, it was worth looking. Some part of brain just goes, was it? I want to explore this way. In case. Primarily because box, but also because I don't know. Herb. That way sick. Let's head out then. I've treated you all poorly. I mocked you, betrayed you, all because you went Gestalt before the change was complete. But after all this, I think I can understand you. I think we can speak as equals. That makes me very happy. I hope we can spend the rest of our life. What was that? Us causing problems, no doubt. I like it though.
Emil? Look, from now on, I'm going to sleep outside with you.
Why?
I can't accept that you aren't allowed in the village. It's stupid.
So you're staging a protest? Fun!
Don't waste your time.
But it just feels wrong.
Well, that's really nice of you, but you still don't have to stay out here with us.
Emil.
You've got a super important mission. You can't sleep out in the rain. What if you catch a cold? Besides, I like camping with Kaine. Sometimes we sit around the fire and tell stories, or roast...
Emil, that's enough. I got a fucking image to maintain.
Do you? I like the ... dots there. Over here, right. Come on. Oh no, we're slightly stuck on the rock. There we go. A bit more. Neat. Fill you over. God only knows how I did this the first time around her. Anyway. Get over here. Nope, it's up there that I need to go. And up. And then... you can do it. Up. There we go. And that. This. We've got some buddies to beat up over here. It's a ring, nice. Love to see it. But ultimately,
We
over
seem
here,
to be surrounded by a mob of helpless puppies.
they are just
Kick
little.
them aside.
Tame the word user. And move the bat. Anyone else? No, cool. I want to explore what's up here just super quickly. Just to have a look. Just to be nosy. Who I am as a person. Oh, this is an actual ladder, that's good. Oh, that I don't need. Jump that I can't make. Not intentional, but there we go. I don't know why I keep going up and down there, but there we go. Right. Let's go. Don't you touch them. What I was going to say and then absolutely failed to was how cool it is
What's going on? There's dozens of them.
that stop it at once. They're too strong for you.
Lure them to the light. stick to the end, I see.
Aim for that statue. It's the leader.
Oh, you're funny. I'm gonna start crying here.
I think I may have accidentally missed some of his dialogue, but there we go.
Have you felled the beast?
Undoubtedly not. Those are my friends.
This is one stubborn son of a bitch.
Damn it, damn it, damn it!
Hey there, Sunshine. You ain't feeling bad for this freak, are ya? Ain't no turning back now. You gotta lust for blood. Embrace the slaughter. All we know is the thrill of battle. Ain't that right, Kaine?
Angry noises.
Kaine!
Still got me fucked up.
Oh, you're kidding me!
On the other hand, that is what happens when you don't wear out armor. So violent.
Kaine! Are you alright? Kaine!
She looks a bit
I
impaled.
fear there is little we can do for her.
No! Kaine!
What is happening?
It's all over for you, Sunshine.
Kaine! Kaine!
So really freaky.
It's Kaine's shade!
We've no other choice. We must strike it down.
Kaine! Come back!
Oh dear.
Kaine! Kaine!
Kaine!
I couldn't hold it back.
That's right, it brought you back to
I
life
can't
and
be with...
fixed your
We're
stomach.
always going to be together, Kaine. If you transform again, we'll just stop it again. As many times as it takes. I don't care how tough it is. We're gonna get you back. I like sleeping outside because I'm with you, Kaine. I'm able to ignore my appearance and keep going because of you. I'm weak and I'm sad and I'm lonely, but you make me strong. You're my friend and I need you. So don't you dare leave me.
All right. Stop crying. And thanks. I'm all right.
Well,
Over there.
definitely playing this on normal next time. Named Mysterious Stone Fragment.
And what is this,
Beats me. It's got some kind of writing on it, but I don't know what it says.
How remarkably useless of you. Well, let's go ask Popola.
Extremely rude. Like, how useless of you. As if you're any better, book.
It's a cipher of some kind.
Can you determine its meaning?
I think this is the key to unlocking the Shadow Lord's castle. Here, take a look at this.
Royal Calibros memory tree sacrifice and the lore of robotics.
I wrote down all the words I can understand. This fragment is called the Stone Guardian. Given that you found it in the lost shrine, the words must mean something.
But how? I don't read that alphabet
There
whatsoever.
are spaces here for 4 other fragments as well. Sacrifice, the Law of Robotics, the Memory Tree, Loyal Cerberus. The Law of Robotics probably refers to the Junk Heap, and the Memory Tree might be the Forest of Myth. But as for Sacrifice and Loyal Cerberus, I don't have a clue.
Not a problem.
Hmm?
If we want to fill in the words, we just run around the world killing every big monster we find, right?
Oh, splendid. By all means, let us undertake a murderous rampage.
They're just shades. Besides,
Just
it's the only
shades.
way to reach the Shadow Lord.
It's a dangerous task.
Yeah, well, Yona's in even more danger.
But how can you even be sure that she's...
Because she is! Right? The Junk Heap and the Forest of Myth, yeah? I'm on my way.
Please be careful. Oh, and listen. About Kaine and Emil. The villagers know how much they've sacrificed, and they're thankful. It's just... they're scared, you know? People can't change overnight. I'll hurry them along the best I can. But can you please give them a little more time?
I'll try.
Something.
What's that?
It resembles the shade we saw in the lost shrine.
Box.
It's a sculpted leaf. Right?
This is the first sane thing I have seen in this room.
Open. Oh. No. Can't believe that in 5 years they've not fixed the roof. As an aside. We're gonna head for the Junk Heap
Popola
next.
said we might be able to find a key fragment in the Junk Heap.
Perhaps we can find a clue at Two Brothers' weaponry.
First. Yeah. Okay. Just see if there's a... Oh, just the diary, which I'm not going to do right now. What I'm going to do is save. Not having to do all these side quests. Really nice, you know. Like, I'm just gonna do the one that I
How did it come to this? My life is over, I tell ya. Over!
I sense another inane and time-consuming request coming on. Best to just walk away while you still can, lad.
Easy, Vice. Hey there, what's going on?
Whoa, friend. Whoa is what's going on. So I ended up having to work on me and my honey bun's wedding anniversary, right? And since we couldn't celebrate the occasion together, things got a little heated. I want to make it right and get back in her good books, but I'm a little in over my head. Think you could help a guy out?
You got it.
It'll take a hell of a present to make up for a missed wedding anniversary.
I thought the same thing, so I asked my sweet dumpling if there's anything she wants. And she told me I want that thing you promised me back when we were newlyweds.
That thing?
Exactly! The problem is I can't for the life of me remember what it was. Can you believe I forgot? I am just the worst.
Absolutely can't believe it.
So, you have any idea what my wife might want? Come on, you gotta help me out here.
A red bag.
Well, you guys carry matching red bags, right?
Red? Aha! That's it! We got married after learning we had a shared love of all things crimson, so she'll definitely want something red.
I remain skeptical this will lead us to something his wife truly desires.
We're so close, I can taste it. Let's see, red. Yeah, I got nothing here. What do you think I should give her?
Lots of jewels. To be honest, something sweet would do it for me.
How about a fancy jewel?
Yeah, I guess she might have mentioned wanting something like that a long time ago.
Both in terms of current cravings, as in I really want something like anything sweet right now. I'm very much craving sugar or chocolate or something along those lines. But also just in general, I'm not like a flowers person really, unless they're fake flowers. I can't look after real flowers, so I just don't. And expensive jewelry is wasted on me. Like, all the jewelry I have with me, some of it's expensive, but like, not terribly. And oh my god, big ones. I just definitely wasted on me, at least. Comes to mind when imagining what a woman would want. Is it not?
Well, girls like sweet things, right?
What, like apples? Yeah.
Okay.
Flowers? Everyone loves a good flower.
Yeah, I don't...
Can you believe she actually married this lout?
You know what? Fine. I'll just get her apples, a red jewel, and some red flowers, and call it a day.
Good plan.
Should be easy enough for me to get the apples and flowers squared away in Seafront, but I'll probably need your help finding a red jewel. So, what do you say? Help out a pal for old time's sake?
How could I say no when you look at us with those puppy dog eyes? Sure, we'll track you down a jewel.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you! Once you found it, just bring it right to my home in Seafront, okay?
You got it.
You know, I bet they sell red jewels at the Strange Things store in Facade. Anywho, where you headed?
Take me to the desert, my dude. We're gonna get this done, and then I won't have to worry anymore. Favorite thing, not worrying.
I say, each time we encounter that bickering couple anew, we are made to endure an even further torrent of meaningless and incessant chatter.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they love to talk, all right. Mind you, anyone?
Grimoire Vice is 100 times that better. You don't see this old tome flitting about starting Donnybrooks and set twos now, do you?
I mean, don't know what either of those are, so, you know. Play. Nice. Oh, but you can't carry anymore. Good. Nice. Glad we're heading off to the junk heap next, because see if there's anything I can raid. Yeah. I have this doc where I've like written down all the ingredients I need and how many of them I need and stuff. And I absolutely forgot that I'd put that into a spreadsheet that I have not kept. Not kept updated, so great.
What's the occasion?
I'm a citywide festival right now. Please prevent me from giving details. You'll find out soon enough, I'm sure. Good. About 3 seconds away from imploding. That's non-ideal.
Hey, so we're looking for a red jewel. Long story, please don't ask. You happen to have one?
Should have something like that lying around. So here we go.
This is less a jewel and more a simple rock.
Yeah, I hear they were quite valuable back in the day, but nobody cares about them anymore. Honestly, it's just wasting my precious self space, so I'll let you have it for free if you want.
Wait, really? Thanks.
Famed red jewel? Question mark.
Let's head for Bagdude's house so we can give him his jewel.
I imagine it would be quickest to make for seafront by way of the canal.
That is the plan, assuming that I can get back up. Mailbox was empty today. Hope I get a letter from Watcher tomorrow. Go back to Facade and I'm just thinking about the tragedy that is going to occur there and get sad.
Huzzah to us for acquiring a red jewel. But is it truly alright to make a present of something we received at no cost?
Ways, yes. Ideally. Better than, those you put love into it and not just money or something.
I think it's the thought that counts here.
And whose thoughtfulness are we speaking of? Might I remind you the giver of this present is not even here?
Yeah, but he'll pay me for it later, and that's what matters to me, so... Nice. More gold. We love to see it. Magic drop. Or over here too. Nice. This is not what I intended to do, but there we go.
You got a red jewel? Oh, this is amazing! Here, come with me to Seafront so we can get ready to give it to her, okay?
You got it. What I was doing there was alt-tabbing to see if there's anything else.
Welcome to Seafront. I'll hurry and get the apples and flowers together, so what say you just head on over to my place? See you soon!
I got it.
What a journey this has been. Let us make for
Really?
the couple's home at once.
Hi.
Oh, look who it is! Oh, I remember the two of you.
And we most certainly recall you, madam. That lover's quarrel you had back then was the stuff of myth and legend.
Oh, hey! Welcome home, honey pants.
Hey, Snookums. So, remember how I said I was gonna make things up to you after that whole wedding anniversary fiasco? Well, I tried and tried, but I just couldn't remember what I promised to get you all those years ago. But I had these two gents help me out, and we put together a whole bunch of stuff we thought you might like.
You hand over the red jewel?
Huh. Well, I'm glad you put so much thought into it, but these are all wrong. Very wrong.
What?
Then we went to all that trouble for nothing.
You got some more out of it.
Honey, the only thing I wanted was a nice home-cooked meal. Back when we were newlyweds, you promised to make me a big feast of all your tastiest dishes one day. Remember?
Huh. Now that you mention it, work has been so crazy lately that I haven't done much cooking at all.
I know how hard you've been working your little tushy off for my sake,
Oh.
Muffin. So, here's your punishment. You're making dinner tonight. And you two are going to join us.
Wait, us?
Do we have to?
Of course, I'm sure. It's the least we could do after all the trouble this big lug of mine put you through.
At night.
I'm at a dining table filled with apple-based cuisine, red roses, and a single crimson stone. Illuminated by candlelight, the married couple fills the room with joyous laughter. The scene fills me with an unfamiliar sense of calm. Just a happy family gathered around the table. It feels so very normal. I never thought I'd feel this way again. So I stuff my face with the great feast before me, hoping it helps to hide the tears welling in my eyes.
Oh no. Oh no, I feel bad.
So, what did you think of my Love Muffin's cooking?
It was all delicious, ma'am.
Tart.
Can't thank you enough.
Oh.
And though it boggles my mind to say it, I greatly enjoyed the company and conversation.
Sorry again for all the trouble, but I hope this lets you know how grateful I am.
Tamed 3,000 gold.
Oh, he can be a handful, but I hope you'll continue being friends with my husband.
For as long as he is alive.
And we'd just love to have dinner with you again sometime.
Would we ever? Things get pretty
Don't
boring.
say
when it's
things
just
like
the
that
two
out
of us.
loud.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I boring you now?
Oh, wait, no, that's not what I meant, obviously.
We've been down this road and know where it leads, lad. flee at once.
Right. Yeah. So, we're just gonna go. Thanks for dinner.
Wow. Anyway. Congrats us on completing all of the side quests. We really do love to see it. That's one less thing for me to worry about. I guess these two are just going to keep arguing for a while. I wonder if I load like in and out of here, will that... How's it going, the dude?
I know it's dangerous outside.
I have to run back. Guess I fucking do. Okay, well. Enjoy my trip through the Southern Plains then. Enforced trip.
How are things outside?
Yep, they sure are. So looked up. Cool. All these characters that I don't recognize, which I'm guessing are from Drakengard. Google. Yeah, pick time. Going back when these guys spawn, because I want to beat them up and take their jewelry. Unless they don't drop any jewelry, in which case I shall sit here and be annoyed. If I remember correctly, it's mostly big boys that need to beat up for jewelry, but I mean, also not be remembering correctly, so you know. Huh? Oh. Why? It's spawned out of nowhere. I feel bad killing these guys now after being with Gretel. Big boat hasn't washed up yet. Intriguing. I guess it's after wherever we visit first. Overall, cool. Cool, good. Good. Well, also cool, good and valid. Me, I feel bad beating these guys up, but also not stop me trying to steal jewelry from them. Well, roll your march. Nope.
Times being what they are.
Now I feel bad for all the boxes that I'm just beating up and all the herbs that I can't use. I'm actually gonna go, yeah, I may as well, because it's not like it's that much quicker taking the boat. And more than anything, it saves me having to run up this way, but like, whatever, you know. I do need to beat up Shades for the jewelry, so worth. Okay. Forever annoyed at past me that may have sold a bunch of the jewelry and stuff that they were holding on to. Rude. Not the wall, what I need. War and jewelry are currently causing me the most problems. What? Whoops. Hitting all the wrong buttons there. That's okay. Nice.
Damn! Where'd they go? Get him! Don't let him escape!
You gonna die now?
I see something over there!
You're almost grown up now, my child. So strong. You need to run now, do you understand? Run as fast as you can. What about you? I'll challenge them, give you time to escape. No, you can't. Be safe, my child. Be safe and happy. Promise me that you'll remember your mother. Mom? Mom, wait. Let's go together. Mom.
Here! They're in here!
No. Don't leave me. Mom, why? Who's there?
Who are you?
I'm Khalil. What's your name?
Military defense robot, P-33. You are an intruder. You must be eliminated. Error. There is something leaking from your eyes.
Why, you big dumb robot? I miss my mom.
What is crying? Who is Mom?
Doesn't matter. I can't see her ever again because she's dead.
My creator is also dead. He perished hundreds of years ago.
Hundreds of years ago? Really?
874 years, 10 months, 14 days, 4 hours, and 43 minutes. 44 minutes.
Aren't you lonely?
I am incapable of being lonely, or missing others, or crying.
I'm crying because I don't want to die.
You will die.
If the humans catch me, they're gonna kill me.
Why will they kill you? I will not permit the humans to kill Khalil.
Huh?
Military defense robot P11 will protect you.
You're gonna help me?
P11 is charged with defending others. P11 will defend Khalil.
Ray. Thanks, robot. And since we're friends now, I'm gonna call you BP. My cough just didn't quit today. Bit much you would have my back.
Man, there's gotta be tons of machinery here.
Yeah, but I don't know how much we can actually use.
Oh, wow. Check this out. It looks brand new.
Hey, be careful, all right? This place is dangerous.
I'll be fine.
Oh, no!
Huh?
Look out!
Huh? 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 Jacob? Oh God, this can't be happening! Jacob! Jacob! No!
Yes. I'm calling Jacob's. Also, somehow it didn't, like, man, that was scary. Somehow it didn't get me the first time round that, like, Thingamajig is all up about hating robots, when it was him that killed his brother, not the robot.
The noise of the intruders caused the structure to fail. They should have proceeded with more caution. One intruder has perished.
Oh, that's terrible. I don't think they were chasing me. They seem nice. Maybe
The junk heap. Perhaps we should speak
engine
to the
honk scene.
brothers. They might know something about this.
Said engine honk, I meant boat honk. Rich honk, you know. Generalized honking. There it is.
Oh, hey there. It's been a while.
You're the little one, aren't you? You've grown up.
How fares your brother?
My brother's been dead for 4 years.
Oh, I see. Please forgive the question.
It's okay.
I need to ask you something.
What is it?
You heard any rumors about shades around here? Not the little ones. I'm looking for one that's unusually big and powerful.
No, I haven't heard about anything like that. But I haven't really been listening. All I want is to destroy robots. Just rip them up.
Okay. Never mind then. See you later.
Wait!
Yes.
I recently got my hands on a weapon. A very powerful weapon. I thought you might get some use out of it.
Carrying the two-handed sword I am wielding.
You have this weapon?
These things happen the second time around. This sword has seen better days.
Yeah, it's pretty beat up. I mean, there's potential, but it's fairly powerless right now.
Can you repair it?
I can repair anything with the proper materials.
If you'll fix it, I'll get the parts.
I'm so glad I decided not to throw this out. I'm gonna need some memory alloy. Only the real big enemies on the second basement level have them, so watch yourself. Also, here's the passcode to get down there. Use it on the elevator.
You got it.
Why?
I'm gonna need only the real big...
You got it.
By the way, what can I help you with?
See if there's any level 3s that I can upgrade first. Okay, right, sorry. The gold one makes this much easier. Whoops, wrong button. Really are in honking hour. That. Read this. This and what I can do so far, that's better than nothing.
Come back soon.
Right, need some memory alloys. Time's at 7:30. Yeah, I reckon we can do this. And I will spend my own time running out for the other objects that I need. To be honest, at least much made new friend, and guess what? He's a king. I wish I had some friends.
It's a shame about the older lad. He was but a child.
Sounds like you went into a dangerous area for the sake of the business.
I think it is, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't need robot parts, otherwise I would like do the whole thing, but we're going full steam ahead.
The elder brother postponed his joy for the sake of his sibling. Do you think he was ever truly happy?
Just making his little brother happy would have been enough. That's what being an older brother is like.
What? We are in Tenadale at the moment. Large gear, nice. Yeah, I need one more of those, I think. Whoops. Not there. There we go, this way. I'm gonna sell a lot of this stuff soon, so. Hard for me to run around this entire area because I can't remember which rooms are the ones I need to go into and which ones aren't. So I can sell a whole bunch of this stuff later, right? Oh, no, okay. Stuff I don't need. Oh! So I had a cut on my arm and I was like scratching it and I accidentally nicked the scab. Let me just go. Go. Just had to wang a band-aid on my arm there. I do apologise for the sudden loud noise. It was I, like a fool, had nicked my arm, so. No, it's fine. Nice. This way. The need Mask of Steel. That's the drop that I have that I still need from here, so. You doing okay there, Kaine? Apologise for the frame drops. It's because Damascus Steel aside, I'm now sorted on robot drops. Obtained memory alloy. Obtained titanium alloy. Cool. That's us. Anything else? Nope. Cool. There we go. Now we can head back up, although I'm just going to check a thing quickly. Go back home. Hi. Kind of Naruto running there. Okay, ready? What's a ship?
A large seagoing vessel that carries freight and passengers over bodies of water.
Hey, you're so great, Beefy. You've learned so much.
You have taught me much, Khalil. You have helped to expand my vocabulary. You have instructed me in the ways of the outside world.
Wow, there's tons of stuff I don't know either. Maybe we should leave here and go explore the world.
Because we are friends.
Very depressing. That's right. Yay. It's gonna be fun. putting much energy. You. Okay. Controller. You alive? There we go. Apologies. Frames dropping, etc. Hi.
That's some pretty impressive stuff you found. I'll start upgrading your weapon right away. And since you did me a favor, I won't even charge you for it.
Nice.
Well, actually, this is gonna take a little more time than I thought. No sense in you waiting around. I'll send you a letter once it's ready.
That would be great.
No sense in... That would be good. By the... What can I help you with?
Any upgrades? Whoops. Ah.
No sense... That would... By the... What can I help you with?
Strength weapons. Here we go. That's some. Can be. Cars. Oops. Right. And then it's 3 needed, so I can't do it anymore. Is that right? Yes. Cool. Oh well. Oh no, actually not oh well.
What can I help you with?
As always. Okay, buy 2 iron ores.
Come back. No, sir. That would buy the... What can I help you with?
I don't need to do this on camera, but seeing as I'm here, I'm going to, so...
Come... No, that would buy... What can I help you with?
Okay, and then I will buy 4 iron ores. Ten iron ores.
Come. No, that would be... What can I help you with?
Actually... I may as well, you know.
Come. No, that would be... By the... What can I help you?
Okay. I've got enough there. I need a wristwatch for that one. Oh, 2 more titanium alloys. Watches. That. Clump. Bracelet. Okay. Do I want to buy 12 silver ores? Yes, I do. I've got the
No, that would be... By the... What can I help you with?
I can afford it, so I may as well.
Come. No, set. That would... What can I help?
Just... Upgrade a vile axe. 3 gold ores, memory alloys, mustard clump, gold ores, giant egg, and right, mustard clump, ring, bracelet. Ooh, I can afford this. Plastic earring, silver and pyrite, all of the above. Fluorite, rusted clamp. Okay.
Come back.
So, let's take a look at our new level 4 weapon. I remember which one I just upgraded. Lilacs, here we go. The girl stares at the sight before her. Her father lays nearby, carved to pieces by countless blades. Her mother also lays dying, as well as the newborn baby brother. All had suffered terribly in the final moments, and the girl can do nothing but cry as she stares at the 3 soldiers who murdered her only family. Years later, the girl reappears, her visage made strong by her vow for revenge. The first soldier has grown so fat that the buttons on his uniform can barely contain his girth. The girl approaches him and claims to know an easy way to lose weight. On pretext of an examination, she has him lie down on a bed before suddenly hacking off his arms and legs with an axe. The remaining lump of soldier screams and attempts to wriggle away, but the girl pins him down and tells him he still has parts to lose. Sometime, the girl sits in front of the now rounded torso and smiles. "There we are," she whispers. "Look how nice and slim you are." The second soldier is a peerless Lothario. Each night a new woman is invited to his manor to spend the night. The girl breaks into his home and kills the woman at his side, then uses her axe to hack off his manhood as he trembles and begs for mercy. The third soldier has long since left the service and is now living a quiet life with his family in a remote village. After they've fallen asleep, the girl takes her axe and cleaves the support beams of the house, causing it to collapse. She then sets fire to the wreckage, causing a great bonfire that can be seen for miles in all directions. Suddenly, the soldier's son crawls from the wreckage, covered from head to toe in horrible burns. As his eyes fall on the girl who's murdered his family, she hands him her axe and flees into the dark of night, never to be seen again. Fucked up. I wasn't even going to say fucked up of tree, because it's just straight up fucked up. Right.
It appears we have some free time on our hands.
Let's go speak with Popola.
Popola's found some information about the Shadow Lord. Let's drop by the village.
Very well.
I doubt she has, but it's always good to stop by the village and have a chat. Beat up these guys. Obtain word Konzar. And an herb. I can't carry anymore. Okay. Lizard. Can't carry anymore. I do kind of feel bad for killing these guys. Like, not bad enough to stop beating them up for jewelry, but you know. A little bad. Maybe.
I have the gun.
Okay, that's what's up. Cool. Let's go to Popola first. How are you doing, dude?
Even a single sprint.
Oh, not dude, man. Maybe. Sometimes it's hard to tell from behind. I feel like there's a joke that could be made there, I just don't have it yet. Anything?
Popola,
Ah, you're back.
have you learned anything more about the Shadow Lord's key?
I'm sorry, but it's going to take me some time yet.
I see. Well, can I take something off your plate in the meantime?
Oh, how about this? You know the ferryman with the red bag, right? Well, he's been skipping out on work lately. Can I ask you to go to Seafront and check on him?
Sure thing.
That sounds like a next week problem. Though
this feels alarmingly familiar.
It does.
I'm sure that couple is merely having another one of their inane spats.
Okay.
Let us do our utmost not to get dragged into it this time,
Well, I don't think it's gonna work, but I can always try, you know. Let's just see if there's anything that's changed at home. Capsule. Head salve that I don't need. And some gold, which is always good. Because knowing me, I'm inevitably going to go spend it all on ore in a minute. Right. Let's go here. Save. And I am going to end stream off here. I am going to say thank you very much for watching. It is very, very much appreciated. Thank you very much for coming on. I do hope that you enjoyed. I will be streaming Destiny 2 tomorrow. We're going to be doing last week and this week's Splicer story. I get the impression it's good, so I'm intrigued to see what happens. Then on Tuesday it'll be Final Fantasy XIV, where I'm probably going to be working on the last of my Reddit quests, if I don't finish it before then. And I don't know what else I'll be doing. We'll find out. Then Thursday will be Higurashi When They Cry, meets Kushimoto, where we are... the next chapter is The Truth Revealed, which I'm slightly worried about, so I suspect we'll be learning some secrets. And then next Saturday will be more NieR Replicant, where we are going to head back down to Seafront. So, take care, thank you very much for watching, it is very much appreciated. Do have a wonderful evening, be excellent to each other, and I shall see you guys tomorrow.